Once again, my name is Kevin Trice. My name hasn't changed from the last few speeches I gave. I'm going to be talking about armed security in schools. Something I'm very passionate about. Obviously, I'm a criminal justice major. I'm a big gun advocate. Believe in the Second Amendment. Everybody should have a legally owned firearm. Now, children can't protect themselves. A child under the age of 18, minor, cannot purchase legally a firearm. So they can't take it to school. Even if it was a gun-free zone, or it is a gun-free zone. Even if you were allowed to have firearms at schools, kids can't have them. So they can't protect themselves. That's why I believe armed security guards should be there. A teacher shouldn't have a dual role. She shouldn't be, he or she, shouldn't be sitting down grading papers with a gun on their hip and just chafing them, and that's what they're worried about. You don't want your security guard to have multiple roles and want to be the janitor and the groundskeeper and working in the cafeteria and everything. You want them to be just security. This is good. Schools, most schools, have some kind of security protocol in place. Even here at Brown Mackey, if you don't know, if there's a crazed gunman comes in here and he's shooting up the place, Mr. Moore's supposed to get up, lock the door, turn off the lights, and then we all kind of crowd in that corner so if the person looks through the window, it looks like nobody's in here, and hopefully they'll just move on. I have a friend who works at KinderCare. They have some protocols there too, and I don't know if any of you know or take your kids to any kind of daycare that does this, but basically they have a key pad right outside the main entrance, and parents go there, punch in the key code, they can take their kids in. However, this is an easily compromised code. I mean, you're not sworn to secrecy, this isn't a top secret security clearance, so anybody, it's the last 4 digits of the school phone number. They say the only time they change this code is when somebody gets fired or somebody quits. But a parent takes their child, say they don't like the service. I hate the service here. They did me wrong. They take their child out of here. Then they want some payback. They come in there, punch in the code, and wreak havoc. So that's a problem. What they should do is put a security guard in front of there. He has like an EAL, like an entry authority list, with every parent's name on there who's authorized to have access to the building. Have a government-issued ID card with a picture ID, not a social security card, but a state license, passport, if that's what you have. Show that so they can check mark you off. Okay, you're authorized to be in here, go ahead and go in. Because they have 2 sets of doors, the outermost doors, and then you go through those, then they have the one with the keypad. So that's their protocol. And I think that if you have armed security right there at the main entrance, not like the guy that we have, okay, an actual armed guy who's at the main entrance, because there should only be one entrance and one exit, and it should be the same one. Who remembers a little incident at Sandy Hook Elementary? Okay. If you don't know, quick synopsis, basically a crazy man goes in there, starts shooting individuals, killed 26 people. And most of those were children, 6 and 7 years old. It's terrible, it's tragic, then he turned the gun on himself and killed him. I believe that if armed security would have been present that day, it either would have been lessened or not happened at all. Back up several years ago, even further back, Columbine High School, I believe it was Colorado. Yeah. 2 seniors go in there. They actually go to that school. They put chains on the door so the students couldn't escape. Then they started shooting. They shot and killed 13 individuals, 12 of them students, their own classmates, and then 1 faculty member. That doesn't even, they killed 13 people. That doesn't even count the amount of people. It was like 26 or 30 people they actually shot and wounded. But they lived through it, thank goodness. Once again, I believe armed security could have mitigated that whole process. Even SWAT teams that day admitted that they took too long getting in there. They surrounded the place like they're supposed to. They wanted to find the best entrance strategy. They got blueprints of the building and everything. They tried, but they waited too long. Too many people were killed. So first, if the armed security is there, he would have taken out the first few shots. Some people may have gotten shot, but I don't think it would have been as catastrophic. Important. However, I understand there's that stigma with security guards and the rent-a-cop and wannabe cop, whatever it is. I'm not gonna lie to you, this stereotype is pretty darn accurate. However, there are some that are actually good to go, good guys. Now, I can't speak for the rest of the world. All I can speak for is America. You get what you pay for. You pay $9 an hour for a security guard, you're going to get $9 an hour worth of work, which isn't much. Start 15 and higher, you're going to get that upscale security officer. Then you can start putting parameters and expectations that you want. You want them to be prior police officer, law enforcement, prior military police, prior Green Beret, whatever it is you want. It's going to be more competitive that these people are going to want to apply for these jobs, so then you're going to get what you actually want. Now this is where it gets iffy. This is where whatever side of the fence you want. Okay, if you don't have kids, you probably at least know somebody who does. If you have a best friend, you may have nieces or nephews. Heck, you may even be a grandparent. Probably shouldn't really have brothers and sisters quite that young if you're all in your 30s. But children are curious about guns. They actually don't, they're not terrified because as adults and parents, what do we tell our kids to do if you're out and about? Go to somebody in position of authority, somebody, a police officer, security guard, somebody who's usually got some kind of firearm. A mailman and a firefighter, those are good guys too, but really not the ones that if you're lost, you don't want to just tell any adult, don't talk to strangers, but talk to police officers. I remember when I was in the service that kids would come up to me and, is that a real gun? And, those real bullets? And have you ever killed anybody? But they were asking questions, very inquisitive and everything, boys and girls. And they, and you just pat them on the head, give them some baseball cards or whatever, and you make their day. But you don't have to worry about them thinking that they're in school, they're trying to learn the ABCs, and then they're thinking that there's some guy walking around with a gun on his hip. I'm scared and terrified, and I can't concentrate. It doesn't work like that. Kids are very, very they have a lot of questions, and they're not afraid of people who are in positions of authority. Obviously, the overall effect you want is safety of the children. That's the goal is. That's my goal. That's everybody's goal, right? You have Thais driving the kids safely to school. They get there. She has to let them go, though. Now it's up to the school to protect the kids. Now we have what we call soft targets and hard targets. A hard target would be an example, say you have a security guard standing in front of a bank vault door, right? He's sitting there, he's got this tactical vest on, he's got this body armor on, maybe he has an AR-15 assault rifle slung over here, and he's looking around, he's patting people down, checking cameras, he's got a magnifying glass, looking for clues, whatever it is he's doing. But a bank robber's going to look at him and say, I really want to rob that bank, but that's a lot of resistance. I'm not sure if I'll even be able to get in the door. That's 50-50, and those are odds I don't want to play with. Then they look over here. You got this individual, no offense, say he's an older gentleman, kind of up there in years. He's sitting down perhaps, maybe feet up. He's got the magazine, tie's all crooked, he needs a shave. He's just kind of waving at people on, yeah, you're good, and yeah, come on. He's going to go over there. He's like, this is a lot less resistance. I think I can get the jump on this guy. So then that's going to be a problem. So if you have the upscale security officer, the hard target that's actually sitting in front of the school, then they're going to think twice. A lot of these shootings would have never even taken place, I believe, because they deter. That's the whole point of security, is you're supposed to deter crime from ever even happening. Police officers respond to stuff. Something has to happen, then they respond. But when cops are already present, usually stuff doesn't happen. And last but not least, you're going to offer a little bit of peace of mind for the parent. When you drop your kids off and you see a security officer right there, and he's looking around, he's makes idle chit-chat with you, and it looks like he's walking tall, and he's making sure all the kids everything's good to go. It gives you a little bit of a warm fuzzy inside, a little peace of mind. I know when I was, once again, in the service, I was out on patrol. It was early in the evening. I worked 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That is something funny.
No.
Oh, okay.
I just heard something else.
Oh.
Somebody's blowing their schnoz.
So it was early in the shift. Me and my partner decided to go to the daycare. And we just wanted to walk and talk and see what's going on. And I think it was Valentine's, I'm kind of making this up, I think it was Valentine's Day or right around there, because all the parents were dropping off their kids. And even full-fledged teenagers, apparently, they don't trust them home. So they were there, and it's a big community place. It's not like a daycare, but they had like a gym and all this, Nintendo or whatever. And these kids are doing this. All the kids rushed up to me, and they're like, hey, what's going on? And all the parents were like, oh, you guys going to be here the whole night? I'm like, no, we're just actually walking through them now. Oh man, military police are here. This is fantastic. They felt good. They felt like, I'm going to leave my kids here. They're going to have fun, and they're going to be safe because police are going to be here all night. Little did they know, we did an about face and walked right back out because we found something else to do. But it's good to have that, just that nice, once again, that warm fuzzy inside to know that your kids are protected by armed security. So once again, I firmly believe that armed security should be in schools. Kids can't protect themselves, can't buy firearms, can't conceal firearms, so that's a no-go. Security should be integrated in this protocols, the security protocols that are already in place. You're gonna get what you pay for. The more you pay, better officer you should get. Children are curious about guns, so you don't really have to worry about them having a catastrophic meltdown or being afraid to learn while they're in school. Our goal, the mission, overall safety of children, all on their phone, so not even paying attention. And then, of course, you have peace of mind with security. So, if you have any questions at all, be more than happy to answer them on break or after class. Thank you.
Yeah.
I know.
All right, 10 minutes. 10 minutes.